y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend the day with us, you know how it goes. The garden and everything else is pretty much in full swing, or just about it anyway. And I'm back out here at my peach tree. If you saw one of the last videos, we were out here picking, and half of them was ripe, half of them wasn't. But y'all, we just really have been blessed this year with an awesome peach harvest here. And I've already picked about a bushel off of it. Give about a half a bushel to the pigs, is picking them up off the ground, rotten spots, so on and so forth. But boy, it looks like I got my work cut out for me. But look how pretty them are. We've had this peach tree probably 7 or 8 years, and this is only the second time we've ever got peaches off of it. Most times the blooms get frostbit, but they didn't this year. Somehow or another they survived, actually a couple of frosts. And yeah, boy, they're good. So I'm gonna get these picked. I don't know if I'm gonna pick them all. Peeling peaches takes a while. And you know, we may give some to family members and things like that, because I mean, I'm just blown away. And you can see we've got it braced up with boards here because the limbs got so heavy. But it's gonna be a hot one. I better get to it. Now, one thing when you're picking peaches, you know they're ripe when they come off the tree pretty easy. Like, you shouldn't really have to put a lot of force in them. Boy, that right there is about calling my name. So this is my problem when we're doing peaches or any kind of fruit, is I just want to eat them. Like, I don't want to pick them all, I want to eat them. But I want y'all to look how juicy this is. That's one more beautiful peach. Perfection right there. That's one of them things, boy, you could eat that till it makes yourself sick. I believe this is one of the limbs that tried to break. Try to enjoy them while they're here, though, because, like I said, this tree ain't got a good track record. So, and some of them are kind of small. I'll see what they look like when I get into them. But it takes like no effort to pick them. Some of these up in here still ain't quite ripe. So I might can save me a few to come down here and still eat on. I mean, perfect. Crazy as this sounds, they're so pretty, about make me want to cry. Because we have never, that one year we got peaches off of it. I mean, we got a few. Enough to eat on and freeze a few, but that was it. Uh-oh. Well, I've about filled up a bushel basket here for like the second time, counting the first pickings. So I'm gonna pick a few more. But y'all, peaches is a lot of work. Like you heard me say a while ago, I mean, it takes a while to peel them and everything. I've already put up a lot, and the Lord's blessed me with all these peaches. So we're gonna share the wealth. I filled up this bushel basket off of just a couple of limbs. Like, I ain't even made it to the other side of the tree. And I've eaten a few too. Boy, they good. But, I mean, you don't hear me talk a lot about the gardening and stuff, just because that's Andy's forte. Like, he's really good at that stuff. I just put the stuff up, okay, y'all? He grows it and I put it up. We make a pretty good team. But these perennial fruit trees and the bushes and everything else, I want y'all to think about this. Very, very, very minimal effort. Like, we planted this thing years ago, and even though, like, it don't produce peaches every year, like, minimal. We ain't done nothing to this peach tree except for spray it for worms a couple times. And look at what I'm getting. I love fruit trees and bushes and things, because, you know, you got to put so much effort into the annuals, like your garden and stuff, which of course we're gonna, you know, get good harvest off of that too. But this is a big harvest for like little to no effort, and I think that is awesome. Work smarter, not harder, right? So I'm out here on Berry Hill, and I'm just picking through some more blueberries, y'all. I'm just picking them a little at a time because they're not all getting ripe at the same time. And I'm hoping to get to can them today, and I can show y'all that. I've got some more waiting on me in the fridge. So they look so much better since Andy started watering them, and since we got a little bit of rain. We ain't had much, but they look a whole lot better.
I think we might have them all right here. Right there's one, Jacob. These here's a whole lot easier to pick than them out there on the garden, ain't they?
Mm-hmm.
Maggie?
I cannot find them.
You ain't looking. Look right here.
Oh.
You can't see them looking at the horses, honey. You gotta look at the green bean plant. Right there's one. I'm gonna leave it for seed. It's already starting to turn, so don't pick that one.
This one?
You can pick that one, yeah. Pick all of them right there. Okay, well come on over here to this trellis. There ain't many hanging here. The Japanese beetles is on them bad now, though. Japanese beetles is on everything. Oh, right here's a whole pile of them, Jacob. But I bet you can't reach these. Jacob, what'd you find up here in your garden? Oh, those look perfect.
Mm-hmm. And look at my corn.
Yeah, your corn plant's pretty. You think it's gonna make anything?
Maybe.
You interested in seeing what kind that is?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be red corn.
Maybe.
Got any tomatoes ready?
Is that one good yet?
Yeah, you can go ahead and pick that. You can pick that other one there too.
I don't think I saw red behind that bush.
I'm gonna go over and check it. It may be one of them over there. May be one with a blossom end rock.
Maybe. Yep, it's one with the blossom and rock.
Is it?
Yep.
Just pick it and throw it out.
Look what I'm saying. Look what I've been standing on.
What we got in the bucket, Maggie?
Beans.
Well, guys, you can see our corn is pretty much done. I've got a few stalks out here left to cut that we're going to throw into the cows. And that's what we've done with all this. We've cut the stalks down and just throw them over into the cows and let them eat on it. And let me tell you something. Cows absolutely love green corn stalks. They absolutely love them. But anyways, we're going to take what's left here and cut it and toss it over the fence. And I'm going to get this area tilled up. I don't know exactly what all I'm going to plant. I think I'm going to plant me a couple rows of sunflowers out here. I might try to put in another row of sweet corn or a couple rows of sweet corn just to see if it has time to make between now and frost. I think I've got time, and I'm right here where I can keep it watered. So I may do that just to have just a little bit at the very end of the season that we can eat fresh. But anyways, let's get these cut, and then I guess I need to get it tilled up. Now the sad thing is, these are all volunteer sunflowers that you see I've left out here. And I'm gonna have to cut those down as well. Which they're mostly done anyways. There's a little bit left on that one. Boy, the bees is working it though. But this one right here, it's done. The birds have even almost already eat all the seeds out of it. Yeah, look at that one. They've cleaned that head. Them little yellow birds. But there's a few seeds left in that head. So we may cut the heads off and try to get the seeds out. But for the most part, these flowers are done. Yeah, honey, that ear corn there, it wasn't no good. That's the reason I left it.
Can I do it?
You can pull it off and shuck it if you want to give it to the cows. Yeah, that ain't no good either. I'm not sure, but I think we ended up getting roughly about somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 25 dozen out of this little patch, that's a lot. That's actually a lot more than I was expecting to get. But after the last video, when we said we thought we only had about a dozen left in here, turns out we ended up picking almost 3 dozen. I took to my mama. I took probably 6 or 7 ears to my grandma. And then we've since then picked another dozen, maybe 2 dozen out of here that we've just eat on ourselves for supper every night. So this little patch right here really put off some corn this year. You know, the road started right there and runs just out there past Jacob. So I think that's roughly about 30 feet. It may not be quite 30 feet, but it's pretty close to it. And we had 5 rows that long. But then this row right here don't much count because the cows, they come in and nip the top out of it where it was so close to the fence. And so we didn't get near as much off of that row. But anyways, let's get this right here cut and throw it into the cows.
Like this?
Yep.
Timber.
Yep. Now what I've been doing, Jacob, is cut it there and throw it over here in a pile and kind of keep them stacked up sort of like logs. There you go. So guys, we're using loppers here to cut this corn off, but a machete works great for it too. You can actually do it pretty quick with a machete. Go through one-handed chopping and throwing the corn over.
Timber. Oh, it didn't fall.
It's kind of what it feels like, cutting trees.
Yeah. The bugs got into that one. There's bugs over
What?
that one. Looks pretty good.
Does it?
Yeah. Bugs got into that one. And the one you just picked up. I like it.
That ear right there looks like it may be some good. No, that one there ain't no kind. Oh, that is a good ear. Well, go put it in the refrigerator. Or take it and lay it in there in the house, Maggie.
We might eat it tonight.
Yeah, we might eat that one tonight.
Oh, I think I'll let you.
I'm gonna pick a couple of these. Let's just see what they look like. Now, see, that one didn't fill out.
You ain't good. You said it was bad. You definitely pretty good.
This one right here feels like it might actually be good.
Oh, not.
Look at there.
You said it was not be good.
We can eat these for lunch.
Yeah. Lovey likes them, Daddy. Lovey don't like the corn. He likes the leaves.
It does.
Daddy, gnawed that one down.
I think I probably tore it up when I picked the ear.
What? I can cut them both at one time. Bah! I didn't cut that one all the way. I don't gotta stack them. You keep getting them up there. As much as I did.
It is hot out here though, ain't it?
Uh-huh. I got all of them.
Okay. Look at that. So anybody that doesn't know, these three right there are three dairy steers that we bought really, really cheap back at the end of last year. And we're basically just feeding them out for beef. And then there's old Lovey. He's a pet. So you like that job?
Uh-huh.
So let's cut them down and throw them into the sunflowers. I mean, throw them into the cows. I'm not sure you're going to be able to cut that big stalk. That's a big one. Look at the juice come out of that thing. Whoa.
Look at that.
I guess that stalk was plumb full of water. That is crazy.
That's how sunflowers keep their water.
I guess so. Maybe that's how they survive this heat like they do.
This is harder to cut through than that. Maybe.
Oh, you got it. That's like cutting a tree down.
Yeah. And
All
it
right,
sounds
give me
like
that. I want to cut the head out of this.
that one didn't have no juice. Maybe that, I just saw that one on hollow.
All right.
There's still some sunflower seeds.
Right there's got some seeds. We can throw that into the chickens and they'll pick on that.
Are you gonna save them?
No, not out of these. We done saved some seeds out of the others. I'm gonna tell you something. These sunflowers that come back up on their own, you know, I'm sure there's some kind of cross-pollinated hybrid or whatever, but man, they sure do grow vigorously and have a big stalk. They put off all these little branches everywhere. They don't just have one head. But they are pretty. It's just like cutting a tree. There you go. Let's throw them in. Here, I'll get that. All right, let's go throw these into the chickens. I think they'll pick them seeds out of there.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go, chickens. Y'all have fun with that. Look at there.
So, my jade beans need picking again. Look here.
Oh my goodness.
This is the third time I've picked them.
They are loaded.
And good thing about jade beans, another good thing about them is you keep them picked, they'll keep giving you beans as long as you can keep the deer and stuff out of them. Now they'll slow down. The first picking's usually the biggest one, but
Well, you can kind of tell when they're starting to slow down because you start noticing less and less blooms. Like right now, I'm not seeing many blooms on these.
but look, they're full of baby beans.
They got baby beans all over them, so we'll let them go till that's done. And if we can get rain, they'll probably continue producing the rest of the summer. And if you can leave them, if you can stand to leave them in the ground long enough and nothing eats them up, no bugs or anything gets after them, come fall, when it starts cooling off, they start giving you, they load up again.
Yeah, they take off again.
But y'all, most of the time I usually can't stand to leave them in the ground that long, and I have to get them out of here and put in something else. But as long as you can keep the weeds out of them for that long, that usually works pretty good. And them Kentucky Wonders are the same way. They'll slow down in the middle of the summer, but then when it starts cooling off, boy, they'll bring them back on again.
We thought they were dead last summer.
Oh, I know.
We thought our Kentucky Wonders were dead, and all of a sudden it started cooling off, and we had green beans again.
Mm-hmm.
We got green.
We didn't really have many jades last year, did we?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just them few in that raised bed.
All right, I'm gonna help you start picking here. It's a good thing I planted these, ain't it? But for whatever reason, them across the creek, they ain't been too happy this year.
It don't help that something's been eating them. I mean, half of them's eat down to nothing.
Yeah. I know one thing though, these jade beans are about the hardest bean ever to pick.
Yep.
The beans just hide up in there.
They hide, and then they hang on, and then you halfway try, like, even if you try to be gentle, half the time you break the plant.
Well, I've seen some people, once they get fully loaded with beans, they just come and pull the plant up.
Probably the easiest. I think me and you did that one year, like it was like the last picking.
Yeah, we were like, we're done. And we just filled them up. So me and Megan were just talking about these jade beans here, and they are some really good canning beans. Like, they just make good canning beans. I don't know how else to put it. And we really love the way they taste after they've been canned. But we're really considering next year not planting any bush beans at all and putting all pole beans in, because pole beans are so much easier to pick, y'all. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is not really that bad, but a pole bean, you can literally stand up and pick beans, where these, you got to stay bent over the whole time picking them. And so, you know, that's just something to kind of keep in consideration when you plant your beans, is even though we've planted these beans for years, we're still considering other stuff just because of the ease of picking them.
We ain't getting any younger.
Yeah, and she just said we ain't getting any younger. And y'all, my back does not like bending over, and neither does Megan's. Mine from riding equipment all my life, and Megan's from being a healthcare worker. So that's something to consider, you know, if you have maybe some back issues or even knee issues and can't really bend over, maybe you want to think about planting some pole beans. They're a lot more work up front because you have to set up some type of trellis system. But when you go to pick them things, man, that's where it's at. So I also know that there are varieties of bush beans that we've never planted that, yeah, they put the beans on top. Yeah, I think Hoff sells a variety that does that. However, we've never planted them, so I can't speak for that kind of bush bean. But I can tell you right here that these jade beans do not do that. They hide all their beans in the center. You can walk down a row of green beans and think you ain't got no beans until you push that bean, until you pull that plant back. I'm gonna tell you what, these beans right here, they've really put off good. I'm glad we decided to plant this row up here.
They really have. I mean, these are some of the best ones to keep.
I picked the mess off of that one bush.
I know, and I promise you, like, I picked them clean except for baby beans the other day.
Them right there's coming in too.
They'll be all right.
So I just picked the okra over here too. I got 3 little pods there. And we realized that in the garden tour video, we actually didn't even show the okra plants. We walked back by them, but right there's our okra. Now, we don't eat a lot of okra, so we don't plant a lot of okra. We'll just cut some up to fry it, and that's really about all we do with it. But we picked
Whatever size that bucket is.
Yeah, that little bucket full of green beans. You say that'll probably be enough for a canner full.
That plus the Kentucky Wonders, it should be.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The time you get them
yeah,
both.
it'll be close.
Okay.
Be close enough for me. I got enough to do today.
That bucket full come just off of that strip right there. From there, out.
These jade beans have blown my mind this year. I mean, I know they put off a lot, and we know they do, like, even after the first picking, but my gosh, these have really done good this year up here. But we don't usually plant them up here. We only did this because the crows pulled them up down yonder.
Yeah, this was kind of like our insurance policy.
Yeah, and so
I guess,
now...
but you know what? There may be some down there to pick because we ain't looked at those beans in a day or two.
Well, I don't have much faith in them down there.
Yeah, the plant divines themselves don't look as good.
Yeah. Well, me and Andy, you may already told him this, we got to thinking about it because we used to always plant our jade beans down there, and we'd plant about 4 rows, and that last row
never did
that
good.
was up against the fence, it never has done as good as the rest of them. Well, that's the one row that we...
That's the one row we planted in beans that ain't done good.
That ain't done good. So, you know, that's been several years ago, and we just happen to remember for whatever reason they don't do good right there.
Yep. So it's got pretty hot out here, and I think later this season we're going to start right there, and we're going to pick what's left right here, and possibly take them up to an elderly neighbor we got up the road here, and take him some green beans. And then I also want to show y'all while we're here the October beans, and this is how you know they're starting to get ripe. You see how pretty and pink that shell is? Like, it won't be long, we'll be out here picking these too. We'll let more of them get ripe. See, that's not quite there yet. That right there, like, to me, I think that's the prime one. You shell that thing and she's gonna have some pretty beans in it. But then all these out here are still pretty green.
Yeah, and they'll be hard to shell. You'll be kicking yourself for picking them green.
Yeah, so you can let them go and they can start to dry out and be just fine.
Yeah, I don't get in too much of a tizzy over the October beans, especially the bug pressure. Andy's got it pretty well under control, so I'm not in a big hurry. If some of them, I mean, heck, I've canned some of them that was already half dry.
Yeah, and they
were still fine. So I just kind of let them. The green beans will get too big and they'll get shelly. The tomatoes will rot. The peaches will rot. You know, I try to
stay on top of that stuff.
Pick my priorities of what I need to pick, and these. Even though I got some ready, they ain't no use being in no hurry.
However, we did pick our first meal. Was that
yeah,
last night?
We picked a handful, and I cooked them last night for supper. And boy,
and they were so good.
They were very good. Oh, I love them. And we ain't had none. That's the first we've had. I think I've been out for like 2 months or more. But now one thing I've noticed, these, even though the same variety, but they're the House Supremo variety. The beans were huge.
Yeah, because last year we planted Topazio. The variety was Topazio.
The last couple of years, I think we planted out of that same pack, remember?
And then this year we have the Supremo, which is still an October bean, just a different variety of it.
And these beans, they were huge and they were so creamy. And
I think they were better than the Topazios.
Oh my gosh, they were amazing.
They were.
I like a good bean though.
Well, if that was the only bean you could plant, I mean, if there was only one bean you could plant, that'd probably be it, wouldn't it?
Yep, it'd be those. Over field peas, over anything.
Over anything.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody curious, they can be bought at Hoss Tools website. If you're in the southern states, you may still have a chance you could get a crop in right now before frost. They're on Hoss Tools website under Supremo bean, right?
Supremo beans.
Yeah, Supremo beans. They're very recognizable because they show a picture of that shell.
They have lots of names, like depending on what area you live in. So you see these, and they are AKA. There's Supremo beans on this website, but they're AKA October beans, horticulture beans,
cranberry beans,
the Topazio beans. So any of those, if you are familiar with those names,
that's what this is.
Yes.
So yeah, they are on Hoss Tools website. He carries them under the name Supremo bean. There'll be a link down in the description if you want to check that out. It'll take you to his website.
Busy time of year, of course, as always. So Andy's out here getting started on the peaches. I've put him to work.
Yeah, boy. This right here has got to be... Well, the hard part about peeling peaches is you want to eat all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to get any into that bowl right there. They're all going to go in my mouth, probably.
And I give the youngins a little bit of a treat. They're in the living room. They're stringing my beans for me. I told them, I said, y'all can stay in there in the air if you want to string my beans. So they took that up in a hurry. So they're getting my green bean strain for me. I'm going to go get the blueberries started to get them canned. And then I reckon I'm going to help Mr. Lawson peel some peaches here.
How big of slices you want these in?
Now these are going to be peach butter, like apple butter. So actually, you can just cut it, just pull the seed out. Cut it in half.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to make it a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've about froze enough. I may freeze a few more. I'll see how the motion hits me. But for the peach butter, I just need the seeds and the peels off of them.
How many? I need to just do all that whole bucket?
Just peel till you can't peel no more, dear.
All right, I'm done already. Hey, let's show how easy these things peel. Look at this, y'all. Look at that. Just peels off, and none of that is just so juicy. You ain't getting that from a store-bought peach.
Heck no.
What was it you said a while ago? You said you was down there picking them this morning. You was about to cry.
Yeah, I told them that.
Oh, did you?
Because they're just so, I don't know. And something else I told them that I thought was really cool is like we've literally, there's been very, very little effort put into that peach tree. And look at this bounty.
That's the good thing about fruit trees. I mean, we have had to keep the bugs off of it. And that's the only fruit tree that we ever have any issues with bugs.
But I mean, still, I'm talking about like way less effort than the garden.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Well, I'm going to go in here. I got to get this started. All right, so for my blueberries, I'm going to do it like I done last time. It seemed to work out pretty good. I'm going to make like a light syrup and go ahead and get that going and heat it up. Then I'm going to add my blueberries to it. So for the syrup, according to my ball book, I'm going to do about 5 cups of water to 2 cups of sugar. This one happens when you don't live next to close to a grocery store. Last night I ran out of sugar, which y'all will see that for my 14-day pickles. And I had to go raid the Dollar General this morning because I did not have enough time to go all the way to the grocery store, which is a good little piece. But I about almost bought the Dollar General out of sugar anyway. We're going to cut our heat on medium low. And I'm just going to let this sugar melt and then I'll add my blueberries to it. So this ain't exactly by the ball book, but I did it this way last time. It worked out good. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my blueberries in there. Yeah, I still got a stem or two floating around in there. It'll be all right. Now I'm going to let these cook on a little bit. Make sure them berries get good and hot. And then we'll put them in our jars. How's it going?
Good.
All right. How's it going? Y'all got it made now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my blueberries have come just now up to a simmer, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut my heat off. Just want to make sure everything's good and warm. I just make sure I don't cook them too much, because then they'll turn to mush, and I don't want all that. I just want them warm. So I'm gonna ladle these into my jars. The last batch I did them all in jelly jars. So I'm gonna do a few in jelly jars again, but I am gonna do a pint just because I've never done this before. So as far as blueberry muffins or blueberry cobblers, things like that, I don't know exactly how far, which size is gonna get me. So, you know, just kind of play it by ear. and then I'll know next year. But I just have a feeling the jelly jars will probably be enough. But I just want to see. Now, we're going to water bath can these for 10 minutes. When you're water bath canning something, just make sure the water is actually over your jar. See there? And it's way over the jelly jars. So that's going to come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we'll do it for 10 minutes. Are y'all about to get them done?
Yeah.
Y'all done good. You got you a bowl full, don't you?
Yeah. Me too.
Good job, guys. All right, so I got my big pot here about half full of peaches. Me and Andy's about tired of peeling peaches for right now. That right, Andy? Yeah. So I'm going to double the recipe that's in the ball book because I've got more peaches than what it calls for. But that's the recipe I'm going off of, is that ball book of preserving y'all saw me talk about numerous times. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there'll be a link in the description. But we're going to do a cup of water, and we're going to let these cook down a little bit here. We want these to get just plumb downright mushy, and then we'll add the sugar. All right, my peaches have gotten nice and juicy and mushy. So now, let's run some through the food mill and see how that goes. So I'm trying to work smarter, not harder here. So instead of doing this in a separate bowl, I thought I would just do it right over top of the pot that I'm already using. Save me one dish anyway. And my food meal is dyed a lovely shade of purple due to my blackberries. I scrubbed and scrubbed and could not get that off. It seems to be working pretty good. Oh yeah. And I do have my heat cut off right now, so. All right, I got all my peaches pureed with my food meal. It actually didn't take that long. They were pretty easy to do. So now I'm gonna I'm doubling the recipe. It calls for 4 cups of sugar for the original recipe, so that would be 8 cups for what I've got here. I may not put that much. I may do like 6 cups. All right, I'm gonna get all that sugar mixed in, and we're just gonna let this cook down very slowly. I'm gonna keep it stirred right regular so it don't go to sticking. And how we know it's done is like when it mounds up on the end of my spoon instead of just running off. So we're gonna see how this turns out. It's getting late, y'all. Let's see how long I gotta stay up tonight. Well, guys, it's going on about 8:30 at night. Me and Maggie are working on getting these green beans in the jars, fixing to put them in the pressure canner, and we're gonna get these canned. My peach butter's probably got at least another 30 minutes, if not longer than that. But let me tell y'all something right now. It is smelling good in this house.
I can smell it. It does.
It smells delicious. My canned blueberries turned out fabulous. And I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's video. It has been one more busy day, and I am about whooped. What about you? Are you about whooped?
No.
You're not. You ready to work the rest of the night? You are.
Yeah, I like canning stuff.
I know you do,
It's
baby.
fun. I'm a cooker.
Yes, you are.
I really know how to cook.
But guys, I really hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I hope you might have learned a little something. And anyways, till we see y'all in the next one.
Have a good one.
Y'all have a good one.